Hello guys and welcome back to our channel. Now in today's video, I just want to expose another shocking example of spiritual exploitation. Paula White, Donald Trump's spiritual advisor, who is selling prayers, literally selling prayers for a whopping $1,000. Now she promises to unlock 7 supernatural blessings from God, including your very own angel, healing from illnesses, prosperity, long life, and even God's opposition to your enemies. Can you believe it? It's like a spiritual Easter special. That's what they're calling it, where prayers are being hawked like commodities. But what's even more astounding is that Paula White is using scripture to justify this blatant manipulation. She cites Exodus 23, claiming that honoring God during Passover will release these divine blessings. But here's the thing. This isn't about honoring God. It's about lining Paula White's pockets with cash. That's all. And it's not just her. This is a symptom of a larger problem within some evangelical circles, where prosperity, gospel, and spiritual exploitation run rampant. So with that said, let's get into this controversy and explore the implications of selling prayers. Is this really what faith is all about? Anyway, join me as we unpack this shocking story and examine the darker side of spiritual manipulation. I'll be right back.
And I believe that when you honor God on Passover, starting on April 12th at sundown through Good Friday on the 18th and concluding on Easter Sunday, you can receive these 7 supernatural blessings for you and your house. According to Exodus 23, God will assign an angel to you. He'll be an enemy to your enemies. He'll give you prosperity. He'll take sickness away from you. He will give you long life. He'll bring increase in inheritance, and he'll give a special year of blessing. You're not doing this to get something, but you're doing it in honor to God, realizing what you can receive.
It's time to speak up. I've got some good news for you. Paula White, the spiritual advisor chosen by Donald Trump, she's putting prayers on sale. It's an Easter special, and for the low price of $1,000, she will have God assign 7 specific spiritual blessings just for you. Now, those blessings can include assigning you your own angel, having God cure any illness in your life and giving you long life, granting you prosperity, and having God himself oppose your enemies. All that for just $1,000. Better get your checkbooks out. This offer ends right after Easter. Go love your neighbor.
So apparently that Paula White lady, the spiritual advisor for the White House, if you send her $1,000 before Easter, she will talk to God. He's going to be like, did you get the money? And she's going to be like, yeah, I got the money. And he's going to go, cool. I'm glad you can be richer than you already are. And I'm going to send that person an angel to make their life better. That's what's happening. You can send me $1,000 and I will send you an angel. And I guarantee you will get the same results. You will get the same results. Guaranteed. Better yet, send me $1,000. I'll do some. I'll crank call your ex. I'll glim boss. I'll give you a wet willy. Let you smell my belly button. You sick people are into weird, and I'd let you do it for $1,000. DM me. I'll send you my Venmo.
So Paula White, Donald Trump's spiritual faith advisor, said this. Y'all, if she's trying to get money from people, she says if you give her $1,000, then she will direct God to be an enemy to your enemies for $1,000. Sorry, Paula, what was that verse about loving your enemies and doing good to those who you dislike and considering others as better than yourself? Y'all don't, this woman is trying to get people to pay her to curse people. This was also on Right Wing Watch. She said if you give her $1,000 before Easter, you will have your own personal angel who will take away your sickness. And you can pause to read this. Well, this is such manipulation. Such manipulation. And what's sad is I grew up in this kind of rhetoric, that if you just paid enough money, then you would receive all of these things. You would get blessings, you would get healings, you would get supernatural, all you have to do is just shell out some cash. y'all, that is so far from the teachings of Jesus, so far from, it's just sad. It really is. It's sad that people fall for this. They prey on, people like Paula White prey upon the weak and the vulnerable and the sick, because she knows that they want healing, and she knows that people are willing to do whatever they can to get, healing, because it's not like our healthcare system works. So yeah, she's this is the faith advisor to Donald Trump, and she's wanting to put curses on people for $1,000. Wow. Evangelicals, however, will still make excuses for her. Whatever. TikTok, I'm sharing this for educational and informational purposes to document the political and the religious climate that we are living in, and just how out there it is.
Y'all, I got some real tea to pour y'all. I literally just had a thought after watching the latest Paula White video of her asking people to send $1,000 so God can bless them 7 times for sending her $1,000. And I had a point, and I'm gonna make that point. But first, before I make that point, y'all, look at this. The beat. And it brings me joy because, the breast cancer journey, a sister had to make some changes to her lifestyle. So this beat is from Beauty Supply Store Makeup. It is. And I'm here for it. I am here for it, baby. He provides a ram in the bush. But the point I wanted to make was that I am convinced that there are more false prophets than there are pastors and actual preachers who follow God's word, the mind and heart and ways of Jesus Christ. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. I say that because these roles were not constructed by God. They were not. They were made by human beings, by mankind. True believers who honestly want to obey God and honestly believe that Jesus Christ was the Son of God operates in those ways, meaning they aren't out here building empires and mega churches and creating political platforms that go against the very human rights that Jesus Christ stood for. I said it. Because Christ flipped tables, honey. He did not flip ballots. That's a direct jab to all these white evangelical pastors that's preaching who supported Trump. That's the reason why religion needs to be a part of politics, so they can help direct and guide our ways. Lake Point Church here in Dallas. That Pastor McPherson, man. Anybody that associates with them people that's like that wants to put religion in politics, they are not of God. My Jesus fed people. He did not feed budgets. He walked amongst the poor and the outcasts. He didn't just hang out with the billionaires and help make them rich. Didn't. So keep in mind, if their ministry requires them to suppress others instead of love, to control and dictate others instead of love, to stand on a stage and preach to people instead of being in the community with them in love, making sure resources are provided for them in love, that's not a ministry, that's a performance. And I'm going to tell you right now, honey, God does not need to be entertained. The only people that's swayed by all of that hooping and hollering and all that yodeling mess that Paula White likes to do, the only people that's swayed by that are people who are mentally manipulated to believing that they're better than others because they speak a certain type of language that only the Lord knows, child. They are liars.
So you got an extra $1,000 laying around you're not doing anything with? Well, if you do, have I got a deal for you. You give me $1,000 and I'll give you 7 supernatural blessings. And I'll throw in a 10-inch Waterford crystal cross to boot and a couple of other items, all for the low price of $1,000. Well, actually, I won't do it. But Paula White Kane, the pastor who's President Trump's spiritual advisor, that's what she'll do. She's going to give you all that stuff for the low price of $1,000. Now, where did she come up with this idea? She says she got it from Exodus. Now, I was looking at Exodus, and there was one verse that kind of stood out to me. Chapter 23, verse 9, that says this. Let me read it to you. You shall not oppress a resident alien. You know the heart of an alien, for you were aliens in the land of Egypt. You think she's ever talked about that with President Trump? I'm guessing not, because if she had, I'm thinking his immigration policy might look a little bit different. That's neither here nor there. The big thing is this $1,000 where she's going to give you all of these supernatural blessings. Now, where did she come up with that idea? We said Exodus, but you also got to realize that the president, the man that she's advising, he sells a lot of shit too, while being president. Just think about all the stuff he's been hawking. He's got autographed guitars, he's got EFTs, he's got Bitcoin, he's got gold, really bad looking gold watches. And oh, by the way, don't forget those autographed gold sneakers. Now just imagine President Obama, where you just lost your minds as conservatives of him wearing a tan suit. What if he was selling some tan suits out of the White House that were autographed? You think you'd be happy with that? No, you wouldn't, because it's beneath the office. It shouldn't be done. But these are the kind of people that Donald Trump himself is surrounding himself with. Now, Donald Trump, he's president of the United States. He's earned the right to be president of the United States. The people elected him. Well, half the people elected him. But nevertheless, he's president. But he's also a grifter. He'll sell anything if he thinks he can make a buck doing it. And his spiritual advisor, she's a grifter too. He just surrounds himself with people that are like him, which is what you would expect, right? Birds of a feather flock together. So, if you got an extra grand that you're not doing anything with, and oh, by the way, the people that are going to buy this stuff, they're the very same people that can't really afford to send $1,000. That's who they prey on. The weak, the helpless, the people that can ill afford to drop a grand, they're the ones that are going to pay the money to get these blessings. It's a crying shame. So she's a grifter. He surrounded himself with a grifter. And if you got an extra $1,000 that you're not doing anything with, and you might need a few extra blessings, just send your money to Paula White Kane. I'm sure she'll put good use to it.
Now, President Donald Trump's chief faith advisor is selling 7 supernatural blessings for Easter season gifts of $1,000 or more, just like we have heard. On our website and social media, televangelist Paula White has a special offer for what she calls the Passover season, when your obedience to align yourself with the desires of God can release 7 specific supernatural blessings for your body, your family, your finances, and your future. Now, White leads the White House Faith Office and recently assembled a group of 17 evangelical pastors to pray over Trump in the Oval Office. She bases her promise of 7 blessings for the gift of $1,000 on Exodus 23, which ironically begins with these words: "You shall not spread a false report. You shall not join hands with the wicked to act as a malicious witness. You shall not follow a majority in wrongdoing. When you bear witness in a lawsuit, you shall not side with the majority so as to pervert justice." And then states this in verse 9: "You shall not oppress a resident alien. You know the heart of an alien, for you were aliens in the land of Egypt." White and her team of spiritual advisors have endorsed and blessed Trump as he lies and seeks to have judges impeached if they cross him, and as he rounds up legal immigrants for deportation and imprisonment. With a portion of Exodus 23, she takes God's promise to the children of Israel and applies it today to those who give her $1,000 or more. As we read in Exodus 23, when you honor God during this Passover, she claims God will assign an angel to you, be an enemy to your enemies, give you prosperity, take sickness away from you, give you a long life, bring increase and inheritance, and give a special year of blessing. All of this can be yours, she says, if you bring a Passover offering to the house of the Lord. Then she relates this testimony from one of her followers named Alfred. "I sowed a seed as a result of the teaching of giving during the Passover season. As a result, my unemployment benefits were restored and increased this past week. My family and I are being provided for, and spiritual blessings are evident. I believe the 7 blessings are being manifested in me and believe full restoration will take place in my life, career, child, and service to the Lord." Meanwhile, the Trump administration is seeking to cut benefits for the poorest Americans, such as Alfred. But wait, there's more. With your gift of $1,000 or more, White will send you a 10-inch high Waterford cross, plus some devotionals and an olive wood communion set from the Holy Land. That special set contains unleavened bread and grape juice from the Holy Land, 2 beautiful olive wood communion cups, and a booklet, her advertisement says. Now, with these items in hand, you can join Paula in taking communion during our special Good Friday online global communion service at noon Eastern on April 18th. Now, a spokesperson for Paula White Ministries told CP on Wednesday this story is a deceptive smear. Pastor White specifically says in the very same video, "You're not doing this to get something." And the solicitation, which was later in the program, makes it clear that any donation to the ministry should only be as the Holy Spirit leads. Moreover, donations to the ministry do not directly benefit Pastor White. Now, the spokesperson added that while this response to your inquiry is not in her capacity as a White House senior advisor, it is worth noting that Pastor White has declined compensation entirely for her role in the White House, as she did during the 45th presidency. Now, the video labeled as extremist by the far-left People for the American Ways Right-Wing Watch was similar to other messages from White, who is known for her teachings that some liken to the prosperity gospel and has often attached a seed amount to various Bible verses. In 2016, White offered her followers an Easter Sunday deliverance from a spiritual unaliving sentence for a $1,144 resurrection seed she said was set by God. Now, preaching the story of Lazarus, who Jesus resurrected from the unalived in John 11 verse 38 to 44, White promised believers in a video appeal that if they would sow the seed and have faith, she believed deliverance would come. Last month, Trump tapped White, who says she has been serving as spiritual advisor to Trump for over 2 decades, to lead his White House faith office, a role similar to her work in the first Trump administration. Now, through her ministries, White has partnered with several organizations in assisting relief efforts following devastating hurricanes in North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida last year, including a Christmas at Chimney Rock event in December to help thousands of families who were displaced by Hurricane Helene. In 2016, as part of an exclusive interview with the Christian Post, White maintained that she does not believe in the prosperity gospel, despite claims from some that she promotes it. "I do not believe in the prosperity gospel, as I've been accused of believing it," she told CP. "I do believe that all good things come from God, and I also believe that God teaches us so much through our suffering. Listen to 100 of my sermons, and 80 or 90 of them will be about overcoming our struggles and the lessons God teaches us in valleys He allows us to enter," she added. Now, I don't care how others try to spin this, but the fact remains, asking people to pay for prayers or blessings is manipulation. Plain and simple. It's that simple. Where in the Bible does it say that God demands payment for his blessings? Where? Of course, nowhere. God's blessings are freely given, and he doesn't discriminate based on wealth or social status. So why should people be asked to pay for something that's supposed to be a gift from above? And let's not forget the most important question. What happens to the money collected? Is it used to help those in need, or does it line the pockets of those who claim to be intermediaries between God and humanity? This is nothing but a form of spiritual exploitation. Preying on people's desperation, fear, and faith, it's a shameless attempt to monetize something that's supposed to be sacred and pure. I'm not buying into this, and I hope others won't either. We need to call this out for what it is, a manipulative tactic that has no place in genuine faith. Now, let's take a step back and think about this for a moment. Paula White is claiming that she can unlock 7 supernatural blessings from God. But have we ever stopped to consider how she plans to make that happen? Like, is she going to pick up the phone and dial God's number saying, "Hey God, it's Paula. I've got a client here who's paid their $1,000. So can you please grant them those 7 blessings?" Like, how is it going to work? Or maybe she's going to send God an email attaching the receipt for the payment and saying, "Dear God, please find attached proof of payment. Can you now bless this person with the 7 supernatural blessings they've paid for?" It just doesn't make sense. The idea that God's blessings can be bought and sold like commodities is not only ridiculous, but it's also blasphemous. And what about the people who can't afford to pay $1,000? Are they somehow less deserving of God's blessings? It's a ridiculous and hateful notion, and I feel we need to call out this for what it is. A shameless money grab by someone who's using their platform to exploit vulnerable people. I don't know what you guys think about this, but you can also share your thoughts, your views, your contributions as well in the comment section, and let's just talk about this. I'm not getting it. Thank you for always watching, and see you in our next video as we bring you another interesting video. But before I go, make sure to tap on that notification bell, and always give our videos a thumbs up if you enjoy our content.